Imagine this: a kingdom in fear, a princess locked away in a tower, and a king who holds just one key to her freedom, a riddle. This isn't just any puzzle. It's a challenge where a single wrong answer means the princess will never see daylight again. And now, you are part of this king's riddle story. Can you solve it before the time runs out? Long ago, in the heart of a golden empire, there lived a wise king. He was known for his fairness, but even more for his love of riddles. The people said he could turn any problem into a puzzle, and any puzzle into a lesson. But one day, tragedy struck. His only daughter, the princess, was kidnapped by enemies who wanted to destroy the kingdom. After days of negotiation, they finally returned her, but with a condition. Her fate would be sealed, not by swords or armies, but by the wisdom of the king. The kidnappers said, "Let the princess live only if the king can prove his wisdom is greater than ours. Give him a riddle. If he solves it, she walks free. If not, she is lost forever." The king accepted. But instead of solving the enemy's challenge directly, he turned to his own people. He believed true wisdom wasn't in one man's mind, it was in the people themselves. And so he announced to the kingdom, "To save my daughter, I will give a riddle. Whoever can solve it will not only save the princess, but will also prove that the kingdom's strength lies in its people's wisdom." And now, that riddle has reached you. The king stood before a crowd of thousands. The air was heavy with silence. Then he spoke slowly. "In front of you are two doors. Behind one door lies freedom. Behind the other, danger. A god stands before each door. One always tells the truth. The other always lies. You may ask only one question to only one god. What question will you ask to find the door to freedom?" The crowd gasped. The princess's life now depended on this single puzzle. And now, it's your turn. Think carefully. You have just one chance, one question, and a princess's life at stake. What would you ask? Would you try to trick the liar? Would you test the truth teller? Or would you look for a question so clever that no lie could ever stand against it? Take a moment. Imagine yourself standing there, in front of the two gods. What would you do? The crowd argued loudly. Some shouted one idea, others disagreed. The tension grew heavier with every second. The princess waited behind the doors, unaware if her fate would be freedom or death. The king stood calmly, watching the people wrestle with the puzzle. He whispered, "This is not just about saving her. This is about teaching them that wisdom comes from unity, from thought, from asking the right question." And so, he gave them time. But remembered time was running out. The king smiled as he saw how deeply his people were thinking. He knew riddles had a strange power. They don't just challenge the mind, they connect those who love mystery. And if you, right now, enjoy solving puzzles like this one, then you're already part of something bigger, because this is just one king's riddle story. Many more mysteries are waiting, each more thrilling than the last. And you wouldn't want to miss them when they arrive. Finally, a young villager stepped forward. His clothes were simple, his voice uncertain, but his eyes showed courage. He bowed to the king and said, "My king, ask I the god this question. If I were to ask the other god, which door leads to freedom, which door would he point to? Then, choose the opposite door." The crowd went silent. The king's eyes lit up. The villager explained, "If you ask the truth teller, he will honestly tell you what the liar would say, and the liar would point to the wrong door. If you ask the liar, he will lie about what the truth teller would say, and again, point to the wrong door. In both cases, the god will point to the wrong door. So, the correct door is always the opposite." The king clapped his hands in joy. Yes, that is the answer. The princess's chains were broken. The people cheered. The kingdom roared in triumph. The princess walked free, tears in her eyes. She hugged her father, whispering, "You trusted your people, and they saved me." The king turned to the villagers and declared, "Today, wisdom was not mine alone. It was yours. This kingdom will live not by my riddles, but by the minds of those who love truth." And from that day, the villager who solved the puzzle became a royal advisor. The story of the king's riddle spread across lands, remembered for generations as the day when wisdom defeated fear. But remember this, that was only one riddle. Legends say the king had many more riddles, each one stranger and harder than the last. Some were about treasure, some about betrayal, and some about life and death itself. So ask yourself, if you faced the king's next challenge, would you survive? The story doesn't end here. Another mystery waits, just around the corner. And when it arrives, you won't want to miss it.